Hey, so what's going on, you guys? This is Yusuf right here, and welcome to the Marvel Civil War. Now, I just wanted to say this book is completely amazing. This comic is so phenomenal and so emotionally unnerving. It is just absolutely one of the best books I have ever read. I highly recommend you guys read this for yourselves because this is just completely amazing. Now, first off, I just wanted to get something out of the way. Marvel next year will be releasing a movie, Captain America: Civil War, which will be loosely based on a single aspect of this comic. And I just wanted to say I'm so excited for that movie. I absolutely cannot wait to see the whole battle between Captain America and Iron Man. Now, something else I want to get out of this video is that the way this story is told is just so crazy. First off, the story is extremely fast-paced. The story is ongoing and ever-going and ever-changing. It completely impacts everything that has come before and everything that is to come after that in other future storylines, which I will be exploring next after this as well. But the important thing to know is that the story is extremely fast-paced. There's no, let's take a break and go see what's going on with this character. No, this story is just so into it and completely impacts everything because, like I said, a lot of bad things happen in this comic, and it is just phenomenal and told in such a fantastic way with its own points of views. Now, without further ado, let's get into this comic. Now, first off, what we find here is that there's a TV series called The New Warriors, which are a group of teenage superheroes who basically have their own superhero show. They capture videos and clips of them capturing real-life villains. And what we see here is that the New Warriors are completely unskilled and are really challenging some really hard, strong villains, and should not really be doing that because they're just inexperienced and it's just a TV show. You never know what's going on wrong. And so next thing we see here is a villain by the name of Nitro. And Nitro is not necessarily an important part, but but what he does is extremely important. He basically creates a nuclear-like explosion that basically massives almost an entire city, killing many people, close to about 1,000 casualties in the city. And what really does impact the story is that most of these 1,000 casualties are actually children who are just coming back from school. Children, about 1,000 or maybe 900 children have died in this massive explosion that has basically rocked the entire community, literally, and has destroyed everything on social media and creating just crises everywhere. Now, the next thing we see is that countless heroes are helping out workers with the rubbles and in the ruin of the city, and saving many of the people who are injured, and just basically cleanup work by the heroes. And we see here is that Captain America and Iron Man are basically talking, and they do not know how to address this because it is not often that superheroes have generally made a mess as big as this, unless they're saving someone. But of course, this was caused by a superhero TV show, so a lot of people, including people in social media who have their own connections, are really taking this matter seriously, because it really is a strong-hearted matter. Now, in what we see here in the next thing that happens is that during the funeral that many people have set up in order to honor all these lost children, many of the parents are extremely upset, and of course everyone is crying. And in that same picture, Tony Stark comes to pay his respects, but a certain woman spits in his face and basically insults Tony Stark, telling him that he and the superheroes are all that has caused ruin into the city, and all that has ever caused ruin in this entire world, and basically just flat out insults him because of her rage and sadness and depression towards her lost son, who has been basically incinerated in this nuclear-like blast. And this basically gets to Tony Stark. This sparks something in Tony Stark's head. The fact that, well, maybe superheroes really do need to be on a leash. And that unfortunately doesn't end up well. It really affects Tony Stark drastically, even though he feels bad and did not mean for any of this. And so, as a result of this, after a couple of days or maybe even a week of exposure to the social media talking about this particular incident, a couple of people begin to lash out. And the next thing here, what we see here is that Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, is out on a normal night just trying to have some fun, when some civilians lash out on the fact that he's a superhero and basically discriminating him for being dangerous. And what ends up happening actually is the Human Torch gets knocked out and basically gets beaten into a coma, and is later admitted to a hospital still in a coma. And this basically rocks the Fantastic Four, because they're all extremely worried about him. Now, in the next scene we see here, we cut to Spider-Man in his Iron Spider armor. In case you guys don't know what that armor is, the Iron Spider armor is has been created by Tony Stark as a gift to Spider-Man to add to one of his suit collections. Now, we see many people here, including Falcon, Yellow Jacket, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, and other Avengers discussing this matter and problem. And what we see here is that many people, including Doctor Strange, either completely agree with this Registration Act, or are completely against this Registration Act, are completely against having a leash on superheroes. And this is basically what we find people debating on in this whole social gathering. And we find people discussing what should happen next, and what should be done about these differences. And so next scene here, we see that Captain America is on the SHIELD helicarrier discussing this same topic with Maria Hill as well. Now, Maria Hill and Captain America have not always seen eye to eye, and the way this happens is that Maria Hill actually threatens to tranquilize Captain America if he does not comply with this Registration Act given by the government, because she believes that superheroes should be put on a leash. But of course, Captain America is completely against that fact, because Captain America believes in the old way of doing things, the fact that superheroes should have their own freedom and their own sense of entitlement, and that is enough. The fact that they have this, they have their own sense of saving everyone and keeping everyone safe. Now, Captain America is completely going by his old instincts of freedom, and what actually happens is that Maria Hill commands her soldiers to try to take Captain America out, and what happens is not pleasant at all. Captain America basically crushes down on all of them, just freaking passes through all of them, making a huge charge and basically jumping out of the helicarrier, luckily onto another jet, where he actually cracks the window and tells the pilot to keep on driving or else he will crash the plane. And so now that has happened, what we gather from this is that Captain America has basically went underground. He has now went underground, and no one can find him at the moment. Now, in the next morning, with the news of Captain America going underground, many people have gathered around the White House to basically start protesting for this action that Captain America has decided to take. And a lot of people are extremely upset about superheroes disobeying the law or trying to get away from the law and not having to comply with it as much as civilians do. And what we see here is that the Congress and some members of the government are discussing the fact that Captain America has given Captain America going underground has now given a figurehead, is now a figure in front of all superheroes who are basically against this registration act, and might also influence others to join him underground, which make things a lot harder for the government to arrest or uphold all people who are basically avoiding the Registration Act or just basically avoiding the law. It makes it so much more harder, and that's why everyone, including the Congress and some members of the government, are extremely worried. Now, this is the point in the comic where basically Captain America and Iron Man are basically meeting up with people and heroes and asking them for assistance, asking them to join their well, I guess their own righteous cause. And this is where basically recruitments happen. And it is at that stage in the comic that we are left with 2 days in where Spider-Man is joined by Tony Stark is joined by Spider-Man in a press conference, and what we see here is that Spider-Man's actually talking to the news and social media about what he has decided to do and what he's going to do about all this destruction and all these choices to make. And what happens next is arguably one of the best moments of the comic of the comic itself, and just was completely mind-blowing and out of the blue. Spider-Man actually reveals his identity to the news. Spider-Man has now revealed his identity as Peter Parker, and is now known to everyone that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Everyone knows Spider-Man's identity. This was completely mind-blowing, and I was not expecting this at all. This was one of the best moments of this comic, and what a great start to the Civil War. And with this end, with the end of this issue, I'm going to bring this video to an end. Keep in mind, this is the first issue. I will be doing numerous uploads of this entire series. Yeah, I am going to bring this video to an end. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do certainly think that you guys will definitely enjoy the story arc, because Marvel Civil War is absolutely one of the best books that I have ever read, and I'm sure you guys will have fun with all the other future uploads that I have in mind, because trust me, it only gets better from here. Everything gets way too crazier and gets on a faster, more focused, and more dangerous and serious path. It is just completely mind-blowing what's happening next. So, yeah, I'll guess I'll bring this video to a close, and I just wanted to thank you guys for all the support, and I really appreciate it. So if you really like this video, please like, maybe even share it, and please subscribe. And I guess I'll try to spam this as much as I can, and I will see you guys in the next video. You guys stay classy. Peace.